Chip and Louie Automotive Show on the air for your Thursday afternoon. And Louie, wrapping up 2012.
Negotiating tips,
and we are talking about negotiating tips for...
Well, it's going to be a good year for car buying for consumers out there. The SARs, what they rate how many vehicles are going to be sold. We're up to 15 million this year's prediction, so we're climbing. So it's a great time. Even though I know there's tax laws and stuff with the government and economy and a lot of things still problematic that people are thinking of, they still predict a phenomenal retail car market. So for you, the consumer, that's a huge thing. And you got any comments on the fiscal cliff?
Wow, I think no matter what happens, everybody's going to be paying more.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
That's the bottom line, right?
I mean, whether you're making $10,000 or $200,000.
Well, we're talking about you not paying more when it comes to buying a car, and I tell you, we've been given some tips on negotiating. So here's another tip that you want to clue into. This one's a little harder to peg, but if you can do it, I'll give you a couple of little tidbits how you can focus on it. Is you want to negotiate a car deal any time of the year that it's slow. So let's say that it's pouring down rain. It's a great time to buy a car. I know you're thinking, why would that be? Well, let me tell you. The dealerships all across the country, we have a certain number. At our dealership, it's 4 cars a day. That's our target. We want to sell 4 cars a day. Well, the fact of the matter is when it's pouring down rain or it's frigid cold outside or it's immensely hot outside, there's no customers. So it's hard to sell 3-4 cars a day if you don't have anybody to serve. So you, the consumer, if you want a great deal and you want to know before you start negotiating when you have a great opportunity to get a great deal, I'm telling you, if you go on a day that it's slow, it is going to be tremendous. I'll tell you another thing you want to do, and the salesperson may look at you funny. You just ask the question. If you don't mind me asking, how many cars have you guys sold today? Oh, we haven't sold anything. Oh, really? Okay. How many cars do you guys normally sell a day? Oh, man, we normally sell probably 3-4 a day. Right away, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You don't have one car deal out, and I'm about to really consider negotiating a deal. You've got a great shot to really save some money.
I got you. Wow. That's very interesting.
Very true. Very, very true. And any car dealer will tell you that. Before we go to a break, and we'll come back again with some more tips, let me give you another quick one. Always remember, in the negotiating process, always remember, get everything in writing. Because a lot of time, as you know, if you're listening to me now, how many times have you run across a situation where, well, I thought you said that it included this. I thought it had this. Now you want me to pay for this? I didn't know. Always get everything in writing when you're negotiating. Twofold. First thing is you want to protect yourself and know what the deal included. But the second thing is there may be a likelihood you want to sleep on it. You may be a likelihood you want to go home and just think it over. Well, you want to have all the documentation of what you've agreed upon because everybody, it seems to think when it comes down to it, somehow gets amnesia, And I can promise you from a dealer perspective, we write down everything. And when we don't write down something and something's ambiguous and it's left for interpretation, a good dealer will always err on the side of caution and just eat whatever cost was involved. And I'm not saying it happens. I know a lot of you may think, well, that doesn't happen when I went to so-and-so. Again, I can't speak for other dealerships because they all operate differently. But I will tell you, in a good, solid place to do business, that dealership will document everything, and they'll make sure that you're protected, we're protected, so we know what was said. Because if anything's left to interpretation, some dealers will just say, "I'm sorry, that wasn't included," and then you leave with a bad taste in your mouth, or don't buy the car. And most of the time, it's over principle.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's over $300, right? Yep. Or it's over a set of floor mats, or it's something silly but means a lot to the customer.
Right.
And the dealer has worked the deal all the way down to the bare minimum, and now they don't want to throw in a set of mats. I mean, to me, sounds ridiculous, but it happens. And so for you, the consumer, always get everything in writing.
Now I've never heard that before, Louie. You don't mind if somebody comes in, you negotiate back and forth, and then you don't mind if he just says, well, let me just take all that paperwork and I'll think about it until tomorrow?
No, I mean, listen, I personally, statistical data, when people want to go home and think it over, we call them B-backs in the car industry, okay? And the bottom line is 13% of the customers come back. We keep statistical data for everything. So when you know that 1.3 out of 10 customers actually physically come back, now all of them will tell you, well, I'm just going to get a bite to eat. I just want to think about it. Oh, I want to sleep on it. listen, when people are shopping for a car, they've shopped 3 places, they've got 5 people emailing them, they got 13 people calling them, and as soon as they say, well, I got this deal at Louie Herron, and so I'm thinking about buying a Toyota. Next thing you know, the guy, well, I'll tell you, we'll throw in this if you. And so, what's the customer left to do? Well, honey, they're going to do this. What do you think? Well, I don't know. Let's go see. And next thing you know, they go, and whether they offered it and they switched it around or didn't do it or did do it, the bottom line is they don't return. So if you're asking me, do I love when customers take stuff and go home? No, I don't. But I don't prevent it. I mean, if a customer wants the peace of mind to sleep on it, that's what they do. I mean, if I'm that insecure that I can't let my figures leave the facility, that I think someone's going to better the deal, by $1,000, I shouldn't even be willing to negotiate. Now, do I know that when I let somebody leave that maybe somebody could get aggressive and beat the deal by $100, maybe $200 or something like that? Maybe, depending on their supply and demand, their time of year, what their objectives are. But, very rarely is someone going to leave and, I had a better deal of $2,000, because then I'd feel foolish. They'd feel foolish. We'd all, we look ridiculous. So, but yeah, I'd rather the customer, be informed, get the information that they need. I give them the information. They concur with what we're talking about. It makes sense. They feel comfortable. They do the deal. If not, let them take the stuff home.
Gotcha. All right.